Hey up everyone, what's going on and welcome back to Sheffield United, where I've had quite possibly my favourite transfer window of all time. So far at least, there's still a little bit of it to go. I'm not going to bring you the very end of it, but I'm going to bring you the penultimate match before that closes. But first, Champions League draw is here. So I've drawn the first round of teams here, and it's a very irritatingly strong first round. I'm drawn to Group C. Benfica, the weakest of the lot, we would definitely argue there. Arsenal winners of the Europa League. Juventus won the Champions League, as you can see at the very top there. Inter Milan, of course, won Serie A, so it's pretty strong, all things considered. We're in pot 4, so I'll draw the next two. So looking at these so far, oh god. We can't get Group F, although that would be quite a nice one. We can't get Group H, although again, that would be quite a nice one. And we can't get Group C, where I would argue we could probably edge Benfica to second at the very least. Fingers crossed Group A. Because I feel like we can contest with Inter Milan, and I feel like we can contest with Leipzig. I don't think we're necessarily better than them as a whole, although transfers have happened, of course. I think we're a little bit closer. Let's just say that right now. Yeah, I brought in quite a lot of good players. Much better players than I was anticipating. I would like to avoid Group D, and I would definitely like to avoid Group E. Group G isn't particularly nice, although I think, again, we could probably contest with Dortmund at this stage, because they've lost a few key players by now. Marseille nick into the first one. That's quite a tough one, actually. I'm not sure the top two for that one. Good luck, Anderlecht. Good luck, Ryan Brewster, who's on his way there, by the way. That's not fully confirmed yet, but he's on his way to Anderlecht because of the players we brought in. Karabag, get that tough one there in Group C. Oh, God, it's Juventus and Real Madrid. Right, well, we'll have fun in the Europa League anyway later in the year. So just wrapping up a deal here for a certain 33-year-old experienced fullback. Yeah, Jordi Alba might be on his way in. I do have another left-back this year who turned up after being pending for a while, but I did say I wanted a starter for Ruggeri to play second fiddle to. The third choice is here now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those two backup players, basically, whether or not I'll loan one out or try and sell Ruggeri. But Jordi Alba, 4 stars. He's 33, but he's 4 stars. And you may remember at the end of last season, I said I wanted a third-choice striker who might become second. I've done that. I said I wanted a left winger because Curtis Jones was obviously not going to be on loan next year, and Ryan Brewster was not up to scratch. I've got 2. And I said I wanted a first choice right back for Caicedo to play second fiddle to. I've done that. So you're about to watch a transfer window, well, where the person involved has actually brought in all the players he actually needed. I know. Weren't expecting that, were you, from a YouTuber? Anyway, we'll confirm this. 65k. They're paying 20 grand. We'll start with the outbound transfers, though. John Fleck finally has left the club for £6 million after declining a contract from a Chinese club in January, which would have seen me get 23 million for him. I bet they offered him more than 21.5 grand, that's for certain, but he's gone to Norwich, which in fairness is a lovely city. Pretty much all these transfers have been facilitated by inbound transfers. Like I said, we've got a brand new star right back. We've got a brand new backup right back, actually. Junior might not survive this transfer window. That being said, Adam Smith gone, 3.8 million to the UAE. He was worth a little bit more than that, but he's worth less there. I'm happy to take the difference, basically, for 3.8 million. Apologies for my Norwegian fans, but Hakan has left for £9 million. He's worth actually way less than Borussia Mönchengladbach. Surprised I said that in one go. Never really lived up to it, but we did buy him for 3 million. He had a little bit of sell on and what have you, so we ended up making a profit of about 3, I think, all things considered. Also 9 million with a little bit possibly extra. This one's probably the only one that was massively undervalued. He's worth 15 at Bournemouth, but 31 years old. Oliver Norwood's gone because we do have a plethora of midfielders now. He's not the only one to have left. As Joe Hendricks went for £11.5 million, his value just kept on dropping for whatever reason over the course of the summer. He left for £11.5 million, all things considered. It's not all up front, some of it's over time, so that does neuter some of our overtime inbound fees that we're going to be paying. But apart from really a good work rate, he's just very, very bang average. I liked him. Just about 6th or 7th on the list. And perhaps most surprising of all is Jayden Bogle, who I have no idea why he's valued at 12.5 million, but we sold him for 13. The 2-star right back has left. It's such a shame because he was a much better player on last year's game. Now inbounds, we start with a few new gens who have come of age and joined us. Salomon Meza is the left back I did mention. He's quite good. He's 2.5 star. Has potential of 4, maybe 5. So he's the one I'm essentially facilitating with Jordi Alba being in the first team now, to be that quality player now, and hopefully he'll develop over the course of the year and become first choice next year. And then you got Ruggeri in the middle, who's just in the middle and isn't going to get any better. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with Ruggeri this year. He'll probably get overtaken by Salomon. 14 tackling, 16 marking, 15 heading. He's not bad centrally in that regard. He's just not that tall. Middle bit of his mentals worries me a smidge, but low flare isn't necessarily the worst thing. And he's crossing his 11 already. That was probably going to get picked up. So complete-wise, he might develop quite nicely. He's not super fast for a young player, though. This isn't that third choice striker I mentioned, but he is potentially there once Cavani leaves. He's come in, hasn't got a work permit. I've loaned him out. Radovanovic, a couple of £1 million. He looks really good. Determination 15. He's potentially 5-star as well. Who knows? But might see him in the future depending on how many seasons we do here. Likewise, Halisson Thiago, £5.5 million. Joined us at the end of this last year. He's got by the way, I'm using the faceback thing. That's why they've not got new gen faces. It's worked on most of them, but not all of them. I don't know what's happened. He's had a little bit of an injury out on loan at Hull. But that being said, 16, 14, 15. He's not bad. He's 2 stars, maybe potential of 5. So another one to develop. John Egan could have been usurped by this for 4th choice, but I figured I'd loan him out, get him the game time. Right, we will do the 3rd choice striker now, although he's already become 2nd in my eyes. Sebastiano Esposito, squad player, £18 million all things considered, and that's a lot of up arrows already. I like to see that. Yeah, he was fantastic for me for Southampton, so ironically his first start was against Southampton in the league. Funny how things work out like that, but yeah, he's 2.5 star, might become 5. We know Sebastian Esposito, he's not really any worse this year by the looks of things. Although he is, at the age of 20, worse than he was at the age of 20 last year. But still can develop. And then the left winger I decided to bring in, as previously mentioned, was Jota, or Jota, probably. Probably Jota, because he's also Portuguese, like Diego. Flary, dribbly, first touchy, techniquey, high agility. Couldn't turn that one into it. Already had a Y on the end. Yeah, seemed alright. Brought him in for a reasonable amount of money. 50k a week, 23 million. 23 million was the fee. He's worth 31, so we have paid under odds for him. Inverted winger on the left-hand side, likes big games, is injury prone according to the scouting. So we'll see about that one. But we did bring Curtis Jones back on loan. I haven't mentioned him yet. We did bring him back on loan for exactly the same fee, £20,000 a week. So bargain. That being said, there is another notable left winger who's coming very recently, but I absolutely wasn't banking on at the point when Jota came in. I will flip between saying Jota and Jota, by the way, probably. Yeah, when I re-agreed to Curtis Jones and signing Jota, I had zero idea that this player was going to come in later on. We'll get to that one last. I'm just going to bypass a couple of frees I picked up from the Welsh leagues who might develop into tasty money sales later on down the line. Probably never going to be first team players, so I'm not going to pick them up now. But Matteo De Siglio is that backup right back I did mention. Can play both sides. He's 29, so he's younger than Junior. He's worth 30 million. It was a free transfer. So I figured, why not? 28k a week in his squad role. Key, because we've got a brand new starting right back. So he's going to be starting right back, De Siglio backup. Junior, I'm not sure what to do with. But well-rounded. So what you like to see from a backup. Third choice goalkeeper now, Jacob Rins come in for free. It's worth 11 million, 12 million. My third choice has gone out on loan, so I brought in a new third choice, basically. £10.5 million for Kyle Walker. The Sheffield United reunion's coming on strong. I did prod Harry Maguire at one point, and I did have an offer agreed, which was surprisingly low. I will be honest, it was surprisingly low. I had to pay him about 40 million, all things considered. 42 million, all things considered. Only 20 up front, but about 42 guaranteed. I was very surprised it was accepted, but of course he had no intention of talking to me. Harry Maguire's the only notable Sheffield trained player left that's not back at the club. But welcome back, Kyle Walker. His technicals are surprisingly not that great. And he has actually already lost half a star for some reason. I think it's the acceleration and pace going down. They're still 16. I think he's very underrated in the game, I will be honest. My favourite part was it said, when we signed him, that Kyle Walker had underperformed as a right back. 7s for Manchester City, and of course he has won titles. Sorry, that's not the phrase. Is hasn't lived up to expectations. That's what he said when he joined us. Axel Witzel's here. He was a free agent. He's only worth 11 million. He's a squad player on 70k a week. Not very fast, but it's Axel Witzel. Very mentally good, very technically good, very solid player all told. But he's on a squad role, so I don't have to star him, and he won't get mad. But he's 3.5 star. Basically, he will play the deep line playmaker role behind Sander Berge, or ahead of Sander Berge. He doesn't really need to move too much in the defensive deep line playmaker role, thank God. Don't normally pick up older players, but he's still quite quality for 33. He says also having signed 32-year-old Kyle Walker. I became aware that Gallardo was being bid on for about 3.5 million, so I offered them 5 and they took it. He's worth 21. Gallardo's here to stay. 3 stars, maybe 3.5. Squad player he's agreed to on 42k a week. very much a squad player, really, in my opinion, in the long term. And one of the more baffling transfers of this window was Marcelo Brozovic became available. He was transfer listed, and he actually wanted to come here. He has 20 natural fitness, work rate of 17, teamwork of 15, passing, tackling, technique, all great. First touch, anticipation is great, balance is great. Not the fastest, but he is a tireless midfielder according to the media description there. And that's what I wanted, the box-to-box. Of course, we play box-to-box and deep line playmaker. He's an upgrade on Gagliardini. And essentially, this was the transfer that facilitated Hendricks leaving, basically. So, £22 million. Cannot argue with £22 million for Marcelo Brozovic, can you? Really? 100k a week? He's amongst the top earners. There's a new top earner by a significant margin. It's the last transfer I'm going to talk about. He's a free agent at the end of last year. He was still a free agent at the start of August. I played 2 games. He was still a free agent. So I thought, I'll have a prod, see if he's interested. He's not been bid on yet. Welcome to Bramall Lane. Neymar. Yeah, I don't really understand what happened here either. Considering he agreed to £175,000 a week, I really don't know why more people didn't go in for him. Flamengo offered him a contract after I did, but I was the first one in mid-August. I mean, we are in the Champions League, so he is going to get Champions League football. I don't really need to say anything more, do I? It's Neymar. I have no idea what I'm going to title this episode or put in the thumbnail because, on the one hand, I want to shout it to the world. On the other, I want that to be a surprise. At the time of recording, no idea what I'm going to advertise this with. I should advertise it with Neymar, shouldn't I? I should. People will just think I'm clickbaiting, but I'll actually have Neymar. I think I'm clickbaiting. I really feel like I've done something that's just broken the game and I've ended up with Neymar. I did promise him I'd bring in a friend and improve the coaching team. The coaching team I can improve, probably. The friend is a little bit trickier. I'm hoping Jordi Alba's enough of a friend, because they were both at Barcelona at the same time, I would imagine. Annoyingly, Cavani isn't on his friend list. Irritatingly, Felipe Anderson is on Neymar's friend list. Norwich had basically already wrapped that one up by the time Neymar had signed. Otherwise, I might have gone for him just to get the promise. So the press conference regarding Neymar is happening now as well, because he's only just confirmed. You must be hoping that Neymar will play a big part in any success Sheffield United have in the future. It's a sentence I really wasn't expecting to have to read. Yes, Neymar can lead this club to glory. Do you believe that Neymar is someone who can be the difference between success and failure? Yeah. What impact do you think the signing of Neymar will have on the Sheffield United squad? Well, I imagine Jota's furious. Everyone's really happy. What do I see as Neymar's best position? Well, obviously AML. Presumably that's where you're decided. Yep. Do you agree the signing is something of a coup for Sheffield United, given the relative stages of the player and the club? Well, we do have Champions League football, so let's not forget that. Yes, I think he's magnificent. Neymar has yet to really live up to his potential so far in his career. I mean, have you looked at the attributes? Do you think Sheffield United is the right place for him to do that? Oh, that's a question. I think we all know how good he can be. He's here to bring success from day one. God, I hope so. We've got to play Man United next, and they've notoriously been problematic for us. Worth noting, directly after I signed Neymar, I did have a look. He is in the media Dream 11. We're still 7th, though, with Neymar. He's the 4th best player in the league. I'm curious who they think the other one is for us. Oh, it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So not Brozovic. Oh, I've not mentioned the previous games. I do need to show you 2 goals as well. 2-1 against Bournemouth, 2-0 against Norwich, 2-1 against Southampton, and a ball draw with Liverpool. Yeah, I needed to show you the Sander Berge goal on the second of the Curtis Jones goals, actually, I think it was. So Walker's out on this right-hand side. 4 minutes into the first game, Berge smacks it. Absolutely smacks it into that top right. Beautiful finish. And Kyle Walker, 4 minutes into his Sheffield United career, again, an assist. Instant impact. And in the 64th minute against Norwich, who did not succumb to Cavani this time, Dominic Calvert-Lewin got injured after Southampton. Worth noting. I think he's back for this one, though. So this highlight actually started with their corner. I've not talked over the very beginning of it. But it makes its way to their goalkeeper, who does this, and then Curtis Jones sees him way off his line and smacks it in for 45 yards. If that isn't goal of the season at the end of the year, I'll be very surprised. So the lineup against Manchester United is as follows. Xhaka in goal, Regeria left back, Badiashile and Helander, 2 left-footed defenders, but Helander is my third choice. Walker at right back, Brozovic and Berge in the middle, just figured with Helander, who's not particularly pacey. Having a slightly pacier DLP might help out a little bit more with Berge rather than Witzel. Brozovic alongside him, who hasn't been sensational yet. Still trying to fit in, I guess. Edwards on the right, Maddison in the middle, Esposito up front, and Neymar on the left. It feels wrong saying it every time. You may have just spotted on the bench Calvert-Lewin. Little bit tired, not quite at full fitness. Man United line up as follows. Tellez, Maguire, Lindelof, Bissaka. It looks very much like the normal team just with Ousmane Dembele, actually. Martial was transfer listed. I have no spot for him in my side anymore, but yeah, there's a few interesting transfer listings at the very top. Brozovic was one of them. First highlight begins 4 minutes in. I feel like there's always a highlight just before the 4th minute in our games. I don't know why. We scored in one of them. I'm pretty sure the opponents have scored in one of them at one stage. Yeah, it's becoming a theme. I don't know why. But Greenwood is on the ball. He's rounded Helander, who... Harry, why didn't you come join us? Yeah, could have done with you there, Harry Maguire, I imagine. Of course, technically back out Bramall Lane, because that's where we are right now for this match. But Bruno... On a penalty, on a free kick. I know what set pieces are. Rashford gathers. Rashford's still going. Tackled nicely. Neymar finds Esposito. Oh, every time I say his name. Edwards. Burge. Brozovic. Goes back to Burge. Finds Helander. Gives it to Brozovic once more. It's gone out to Ruggeri. Neymar's ahead of him. Ruggeri. Challenged. Fine challenge. Dembele coming forward. I think Buddy Shields has made a cock up of that closing down there. And thankfully, Dembele with a woeful shot. I don't know what Badiashile was doing there. Gotta be honest. Not sure what he was doing. Only 18 minutes into this game, another highlight is a long throw. Well, not a long throw for Walker because we don't do long throws anymore. But Maddison kicks it against a defender. Brozovic will gather the ball and Walker just gives it away. Because why wouldn't you? Helander is going to give that to I thought he was about to give that to Greenwood, actually. Brozovic dinks it back out to Walker, who heads it on to Marcus Edwards, who I am starting on the basis that he is English more than anything else. Because I think Gallardo is actually regarded better than Edwards, but I want Edwards to develop because I know he can. Well, at the very least, I've heard he can. Ruggeri, Esposito, back to Esposito. Oh, it's gone in. Wait, what? Did Ruggeri stray offside? Why is Ruggeri being offside a problem? I mean, it's obviously being disallowed, otherwise they won't check it at all. Right, at what point is Ruggeri being offside a problem? Oh, there. He does touch the ball. Fair enough. I was about to be furious. Encourage the team. Encourage them. Marcus Edwards doesn't like to be encouraged, apparently. Neymar's on a 6.3. Oh, dear. Mate, come on. He's not exactly match sharp yet. It's worth knowing because he hasn't been at a club until now, this summer. That was actually a thrilling game, according to the XG. Essentially, at this point, we have just been called out by Helander's lack of speed. That's the only thing that we've been caught out by so far. He is 11 on both of them. He's not under average, but he is 11 on both of them. He's not... Neymar's going to have to come off. It's one of those situations where you don't want to take a player off because of the quality. Oh my God, what is going on here? Is Burge about to do a Burgey thing? A wonder strike? No, Walker's in space. Why have you put it that side, Walker? Why didn't you hit it across the goalie? Fernandez has come off though. Ruggeri should play this one short to Neymar. Neymar plays it back to Ruggeri, who dinks it across and cleared. Oh God, that's Dembele. Great foul. Great foul by Brozovic. Neymar's going to have to come off, you know. Malinovsky whips a ball in. Xhaka saves nicely, holds on, not the end of the highlight, and just punts it right up the pitch for Edwards to get the rebound from Esposito. Ruggeri out wide. Still Ruggeri. Back to Neymar. Neymar charges into the box. Ruggeri back on it though. Edwards at the back post. Wide. I don't know what to do with Neymar. It's late enough in the match that Dominic Calvert-Lewin can come on. So he has done. And Witzel's on for Brozovic, who just picked up that tactical yellow. Neymar is going down to a 5.9. Maddison is knackered. I don't know what to do. Curtis Jones is going to come on for Neymar, who has been rubbish, apparently. So, last 10 minutes, demand a little bit more from the lads. We've turned it around on the XG front, but we're just not seeing anything. We're in injury time, and nothing. Back to the usual standard for Man United, where they just pop one in and do us over again. Fascinating game. You were predicted to be beaten heavily today, but only lost by 1 goal. Really? We are 7th in the table, prediction-wise. Solomon the bomb right here. Always been impressed by Neymar. Glad to see him get a debut. Neymar was given a rousing ovation by the blind supporters, apparently. As much as I'd like to bring you the first Champions League game, it is against Braga, although the last one is against Real Madrid. Of course, this is Qatar year, isn't it? So there's a bit of a gap in December. So we'll probably do the resolving Real Madrid game in case it matters with Leeds later on in the year. So we might actually do the first one with Braga with Arsenal prior. I'm only going to play one game in between. There might be a few transfer stuff to deal with between now and then. So I'll see you for Arsenal and Braga next time round. Until then, ciao.